What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into it. So this coming weekend, now is the time, 2 days time, I think 48 hours time. Now it's now Thursday, Saturday is fight night, Wembley Stadium. We're gonna have Oleksander Usyk versus Dynamite Daniel Dubois. And this is a very big chance for Daniel Dubois to get his revenge. My previous couple of videos, I've been speaking about how Daniel Dubois may be able to win this fight. And also the latest one was on how I think Oleksander Usyk can win this fight. So in this one, I'm just going to cover a few things and give you, my sort of best prediction on who I think is going to win this fight. So going into this fight, both guys are coming in on top form. Daniel Dubois is coming off of sensational victories. Anthony Joshua last time out. You had Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Filip Hrgović before that. And, Hrgović undefeated going in against Daniel Dubois, heavily favored to beat Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois was an underdog in that fight. He comes out, upsets the apple cart, and he shows some true grit in that fight. He, some of the bad things were kind of good things at the same time in that fight, because you had Daniel Dubois taking, so many flush right hands that as a fan, it kind of worried me watching him take those right hands off of Filip Hrgović. But what I didn't realize, Daniel Dubois, he had that physical toughness and that mental toughness to sort of come through the early storm where Hrgović was having his own way, and he just sort of kept coming forward. And eventually he broke Hrgovic's will, he broke his resistance, kept coming forward, kept punching. There was a bit of the dark arts in there, we can't lie. There was a bit of he was a bit reckless with his head, but the bottom line is punches done the damage on Filip Hrgović. And when the second after fight, he started landing his shots, he started coming on strong. Eventually Filip Hrgović could not handle it. He was broken down and taken out of there by TKO. So that was an impressive fight by Daniel Dubois. Very impressive display of just resilience, toughness, the mental side of things. He didn't break, although he was losing rounds. He didn't break down mentally. He stayed in there, he hung tough, and he ground out victory. Same sort of thing with Jarrell Miller. A lot of people thought, well, Dubois got the tools. Like me, I thought Dubois got the tools, but would he mentally have it there? Would he mentally be able to cope with this big American 300-pound bully? He goes in there and, a lot of people picked against him again with Miller. Goes in, beats up Miller too, and deals with Miller very impressively. And he shows that he's got the engine to get you out there even in the 12th round in that fight, and the 10th round, sorry, in that one it was. But the last round, Dubois still had the punches flowing. He had to come through adversity, come through tough trials and tribulations, gets Jarrell Miller out of there, big baby. That was impressive too. And the last one, which is the one I was at live, Anthony Joshua goes in there, and the feeling was, at least my feeling was, Anthony Joshua should have a bit too much knowledge for Daniel Dubois, a bit too much experience, and his experience, and obviously powerful puncher Joshua. I just thought Joshua probably will be a little too experienced, or too, sort of too wise, too knowledgeable in the game. He'll be able to deal with young Daniel Dubois, but Dubois proved people wrong once again, and he steamed into Anthony Joshua, didn't give Joshua a chance to get set. He just came in like a bull in a china shop and almost ended the fight in round one. Eventually ends in the round 5 with a KO. So Daniel Dubois comes in that tremendous run of form there, great victories, opponents that really pushed him. I mean, ironically, the best of his opponents, probably Anthony Joshua, was the easiest fight for him. So he's coming in full of confidence. The only thing I'll say with Daniel Dubois is it's unfortunate that he didn't fight Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker would have been a perfect segue into Usyk. But we look at Usyk's last couple of fights, and they're all against the same man, against Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. The first fight, he came very close to knocking Tyson Fury out. It did swing back and forth. Tyson Fury bothered him to the body. He had to come through a bit of a trial there. But then Usyk, as he usually does, stepped up the game in the championship rounds, walked away with the victory. And then his other fight was again Tyson Fury, the Tyson Fury rematch, and the second time he wins it even more clearly on points. No argument can be made for Tyson Fury. So that's kind of the form for both guys. Both guys are coming in tremendous form. Dubois will be, one thing that's changed about him. He's now full of confidence, very confident man now. And yeah, it's one of these where, for me, he's definitely got a good chance to win this fight, Daniel Dubois, but I put it more as kind of a puncher's chance. I think that the favorite for me has to be Oleksander Usyk, and that's because of obviously what happened in the first fight. Now, yes, there was the low blow. So many people call it controversy. I personally don't call it controversy because at the end of the day, if you're in a boxing match, a blow goes in, referee calls it a low blow, the guy goes down, he gets his rest, 5 minutes is what you're allotted, that's what you're normally allowed, that's what Usyk took. So for me, I don't see it as controversial. I see it as, well, the decision was made, the referee made the decision, it was a low blow, and there you go. And that Usyk just took what was allotted to him, and Usyk pretty much dominated the rest of the fight anyway. So yeah, for me, I think Dubois does have a good chance, as I've mentioned before, but he's got to go for Usyk early. He's got to sort of set a fast pace and use the fact that he's got a good engine, just like Usyk's got a good engine too. But Dubois, he's got to use that good engine, set a very fast pace, red hot pace, and go after Usyk, steam into him from early, and try to beat him that way, and try to establish something early, and try to hurt him and get to him early in order to win. Because I think the longer this fight goes, the more it's going to favor Oleksander Usyk. So yeah, for me, I've got, unless Usyk sort of gets old overnight, I've got Usyk sort of repeating the victory, because I think Usyk is just kind of a kryptonite to most of the heavyweights today, and a bit to Daniel Dubois. And I think Usyk is going to pretty much take advantage of the weaknesses of Daniel Dubois, because with Dubois, yes, great puncher and everything, great engine, but the areas where he lacks are the areas where Usyk can exploit. And I think the fact that he lacks in terms of his defense, he's not really got a great defense. He hasn't got great head movement, and I think in some of his fights he does kind of take too many shots. He's kind of there to be hit. He's quite upright, and I just think the movement of Usyk is just going to be a bit too much for Daniel Dubois, the lead hand work that he does. And the way I see this going is, I think the fight is going to go long. It is going to go into the late rounds. And I see probably another late stoppage for Oleksander Usyk, where he just sort of breaks Daniel Dubois down throughout the rounds. I think Usyk probably will have to come through a scare. I think Daniel Dubois will have some success in this fight, but then Oleksander Usyk makes the adjustment and just comes on strong late. And I don't think Daniel Dubois is going to be able to quite figure out the puzzle of Oleksander Usyk. I just think Usyk's better boxing skills, his footwork, fast hands, fast feet, the angles that he employs in the fights. I think it's all just going to be a little bit too much for Daniel Dubois. And I think this is probably going to be Oleksander Usyk winning this by late stoppage, or it may actually go the full distance and go to points. I think Daniel Dubois has got newfound confidence, but I think once Usyk starts landing on him, once Usyk starts having his way in the fight, I think it may discourage Daniel Dubois, and it may bring up those ghosts of the past where he was losing most of the rounds to Usyk in the previous fight. It is 2 years later, so it might be a closer fight. But for me, I've got Usyk winning this probably late stoppage or on points. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.